time for the fight. Here's Michael Buffer.
Waiting for. So let's get this party started. And now, making his entrance to the ring, please welcome the reigning and defending undefeated WBO Heavyweight World Champion, Joseph Parker! And now, making his entrance to the ring, the reigning and defending WBA, IBF, IBO, heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua.
fight atmosphere. A convivial cacophony enveloping Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, as this Sea of Souls anticipates one whale of a title unification fight. Let's go through the numbers, Al, for the tale of the tape.
One of the big stories is that both these fighters came in at a lighter weight than they did in their last fight, 12 pounds lighter for Anthony Joshua. Joshua feels he will be much more supple, and Parker felt that he's in the best shape he's been in. Obviously, the other big number is the reach.
And here are the rules for tonight's main event. No standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. Fight is official after 4 rounds. Here's Michael Buffer.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we honor both of these champions with their respective national anthems. First, the national anthem for Samoa, followed by New Zealand, performed by Miss Marlena DeVoe. And now, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Ray Black will sing God Save the Queen.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen. God save the Queen. Send her victorious, happy and glorious, long to reign over us. God save the Queen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, from Principality Stadium here in Cardiff, Wales, United Kingdom, Eddie Hearn for Matchroom Boxing, in association with David Higgins for Duco Events, proudly presents live on Sky Sports Box Office and exclusive to the United States on Showtime, the main event of the evening. It's undefeated champion versus undefeated champion. 12 rounds of boxing for the unified WBO, WBA, IBF, IBO Heavyweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by William Hill, StubHub, Manuka Doctor, and JD Sports. Sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control, President and Supervisor Charles Giles. The International Boxing Federation, President Darrell Peoples. The International Boxing Organization, President Ed Levine. The World Boxing Association, President Gilberto Jesus Mendoza. And the World Boxing Organization, President Francisco Paco Barcarcel. Timekeeper at the bell is David Walters. The three judges scoring: from the United Kingdom, Steve Gray; from New Zealand, Ian Scott; and from the United States, Steve Weisfeld. And when the bell rings, your referee in charge of the action, World Championship veteran, Giuseppe Quattrone. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. Boxing fans, are you ready? For the sold-out 80,000 fans in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, with his trainer Kevin Barry, wearing white with black. He stands 6 feet 4. His official weight, 16 stone, 12 pounds, 7 ounces, equivalent 236 1/2 pounds. His professional record is a perfect one. 24 fights, 24 victories, including 18 wins by knockout. He is the fighting pride of New Zealand, the reigning, defending, undefeated WBO heavyweight champion of the world, Lukiso Iai, La Ole Ole Maleatoa, Joseph Hooker. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, with his trainer Rob McCracken. He's wearing white and stands 6 feet 6, officially weighing in at 17 stone, 4 pounds, 2 ounces, equivalent 242 1/4 pounds. This Olympic gold medal champion now, as a professional, has a perfect record. 20 fights, 20 victories, 20 wins by knockout. He is the heavyweight fighting pride of the United Kingdom, the reigning, WBA, IBF, IBO heavyweight champion of the world, AJ Anthony Joshua.
With a combined record of 44-0 with 38 knockouts, somebody's barring a draw, is about to be given the Chris Angel treatment and disappear. Joshua represents Parker's most parlous opponent. Referee Giuseppe Quattarone calls for the bell. Round one underway. Joshua always waking up in beast mode and putting the majority of his 20 previous opponents in airplane mode. Parker would love to prove that he has more game than Parker Brothers, Al, and move one step closer to having a monopoly on the alphabet soup straps.
You've made more analogies in the first 20 seconds than ever, I think. You know, both men will start out using the jab, and we've seen that already. Parker has already thrown a number of them. Controlling things with the jab is vital for both men.
Definitely, I agree, Al. Interesting, the kind of jab Parker's throwing. He's not stepping in with it. He's shooting it right from where he's at, and that's the kind of jab you're trying to use to draw a counter shot from Joshua, so you can counter that counter. When you step in, obviously, if you get countered, you're going to walk into the counter. But if you don't step in and you're just shooting it out, like sharpshooting it as Parker is, you're looking for a reaction. When you get the reaction, you counter that reaction. So that's the kind of jab Parker's using right now. He's not trying to take too much risk, shooting it out as an elastic and looking for the return so he can counter that.
Parker's already showcasing his trademark double jab. His jab, by the way, endorsed by none other than Larry Holmes, who arguably had the best jab in boxing history. He feels that Parker, now completely healthy, has the best stick in the business. Anthony Joshua would like to toss his hat in that ring, Al.
That's for sure. And we talked about the elbow surgeries for Parker. We'll see. They feel that's made him a much better fighter. It's his first fight since then.
Just past the midpoint of the opening round, where both Joshua and Parker are looking to establish the jab. Jab upstairs by Joshua before darting in with a right hand to the body.
Joshua told us, you know, I don't expect early knockouts. I'm the kind of fighter that wears people down. I'd love to get an early knockout, but my job is to break him down, and that's certainly what Joshua does.
Parker fighting like he expected to be on the back foot. So far calm, but now Joshua's got him trapped here.
And Parker wants to avoid the ropes at all costs. Anthony Joshua perfecting his finishing techniques when he has his prey up along the ropes.
Joshua doing a decent job of cutting the ring off, and that can slowly mentally start to pressure you a little bit if you're Parker.
Joshua, the lightest he's weighed since his 10th pro bout against Michael Sprott in 2014. Joshua starts Sprott in a personal record 83 seconds.
And that's what Parker needs to do. See that jab that he uses at times, a nice right hand to the body by Joshua. See that jab that he uses at times, not stepping in. Once in a while, he's got to bait Joshua and then step in with the second and third jab like he did earlier.
Final 10 seconds of the opening round. Again, Joshua and Parker looking to establish the jab early. One of the most popular fighters in British history, Frank Bruno, paying tribute to Anthony Joshua. And I want to take my hat off to Frank Bruno for his advocacy for mental health. Frank Bruno, one of the many luminaries watching this major sporting event.
We're listening. Jab. 1, 2, 1, 2 up when he stays there.
I haven't thrown my right hand, have I?
Yeah, relax. Nice rhythm now. Cut him off. Jab, jab, right hand. 1, 2. Little movement. Get everything. Info back. Defend counter. Let's start using the reach and let's relax and bang a little bit.
The bell and round 2. Joshua told us that he would be willing to take risks and take out Parker early. Parker has never been down in his professional or amateur career. Of course, Joshua went down dramatically in his signature victory over Vladimir Klitschko before coming back and scoring a dramatic victory in what was the 2017 Fight of the Year.
Their one common opponent, Carlos Takam, was able to land against Joseph Parker with some left hooks and overhand rights, and you don't want to see those punches land by Joshua if you're Parker.
Parker trying to take that nimble approach. I see Joshua starting to show that counter right, but again, if had Parker stepped in, Joshua might have caught him, but because he didn't step in, he was able to pull away from it.
Joshua started his career with 20 consecutive knockouts. The record for a heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder, went 32-0 with 32 consecutive KOs, and he is watching with vested interest back in the United States.
Now, as I watch Parker move around, and he came out with the entrance music of Roy Jones, I see a little bit of the approach, in his approach to the Roy Jones-John Ruiz fight, you know, where he's kind of got that left hand down, he's trying to shoot those sharp-shooting jabs and looking to just pot shot with sharp shots to Joshua, maybe frustrate him into making a mistake.
Al, while Joshua highly respects the UK's greatest heavyweight champion, Lennox Lewis, he told us he learns more from watching Evander Holyfield.
Yeah, he wants to add those wrinkles to his game and have that in his toolkit as well. He's got he fights tall like Lennox Lewis. He does that well, but he wants to add those other wrinkles.
And just like Lewis, Joshua has a proficient jab and a vicious uppercut.
Yeah.
Just ask Vladimir Klitschko and Dillian White.
Yeah, 3 men have been knocked down by the uppercut by Joshua. It's not a punch he's thinking he has to throw in this fight, but if it's there, he'll throw it.
And Joshua, oh, nice counter right by
Got
Parker.
a right hand, another right hand by Joshua to Parker's body. 45 seconds left in the second.
The thing about Joshua,
right by Parker.
just like Lewis, fundamentally really sound, an Olympic gold medalist, has that pedigree, and he's not showing any frustration thus far for the athletic style that Parker is showing so far. And he's starting to react a little bit with counters. He's coming up short, but you're starting to see him react to them. He's starting to hone in.
Two of the most congenial combat sports athletes I've come across in my long career, and Joshua, one of his better attributes, Al, the fact, of course, he is confident. He is considered the man right now in the heavyweight division, although Deontay Wilder and Joseph Parker have a thing or two to say about that, but he knows he's a work in progress still.
Yeah, he does. You know, Joseph Parker's found a home for his right hand in this fight, and that's good for him.
Not boxing badly.
Don't get lazy with the jab. Remember, I need 2 jabs. The second jab will stop everything coming back. All right, you got to give me that. Last thing I'll go, okay? Keep working on that right hand, mate.
Jab, jab, little rhythm, all right? Right hand to the body.
Be a bit more busy with the jab.
Yeah, a bit busy with the jab. When he stays there, right
Don't fall in it.
Don't slide in. Let's start punching in 2s and 3s now. 1, 2, 1, 2 up, jab, jab.
Yeah.
Come on. And listen, defend with the legs, chin down, head movement, because you're going to punch back if you fall in. Okay?
And I can't stand still on my feet.
Cut him off, box your way, and use the reach to come in. Ease away, and then counter. Little bit busier now. Come on, mate. Little bit busier.
Third round underway, scheduled for 12 to unify 3 of the 4 major belts.
This fight settled into a pace. There's the first really good jab that Joshua has landed in this fight. This fight has settled into a pace that Parker would like to continue if he can.
Parker doubling up with that left hook. And Joshua sticking the jab to the midsection.
You can feel a difference in Anthony Joshua in this round. He's committing more to the jab. He's trying to throw it with more authority.
Joshua with a huge 6-inch reach advantage will try to take advantage of that with those pool cue jabs, keeping Parker on his back foot at the end of Joshua's punches. Joshua feinting.
The hook is the punch that Carlos Takam is able to land a lot
Oh, there's
of.
that short right uppercut on the inside by Joshua.
And he finds the room for it. I'll tell you, man, even for the long arms. If you fall asleep on the inside and don't stay awake in there, man, he'll find the room for that uppercut.
It almost shouldn't be as good a weapon for him because he's so tall and big, but it is.
That's because great balance and great fundamentals.
Just past the midpoint of round 3.
He's getting to the point where Parker's not boxing badly, but he's going to have to land something to get Joshua's attention, because Joshua's settling into a pace where he's starting to get pressure off on Parker and he's starting to get a little closer bit by bit.
Joshua backs Parker to the ropes again, and the veteran Parker immediately clinching with Joshua to escape that portion of the real estate.
You can feel the tension in the air of whether Joshua, when he lands something big, how will Parker react to it? And you feel it's coming on some level. Parker himself has landed a couple of decent right hands, but nothing monstrous, as Paulie pointed out.
Parker appointed Andy Ruiz for the vacant WBO title. Has defended it twice in fights that weren't exactly aesthetically pleasing. Desultory affairs may be too kind, but Parker again saying that he's been in constant pain with his elbows, having that double elbow surgery. And there, the left hook, and the referee Quartarone admonishing them about the clashing of heads.
I like what Parker's doing, though. He anytime Joshua does get off some shots, he just shoots a counter jab. It's not going to knock you out. It's not going to hurt you. But what it does is it stops Joshua from following through with another combination or another punch. It kind of forces him to reset.
9 minutes have elapsed here in this title unification fight in Cardiff, Wales.
Joshua was able to try the uppercut on the inside. It missed, but you can see that's where he wants to go, and he tries another one.
And that's the thing, you know, even if that one didn't land, it got through, it just missed. But he's able to find the space for it. It's incredible.
Against Carlos Takam, there was a clash of heads early in the fight that really affected Anthony Joshua. There they had it again. Wasn't as dramatic.
The old 1-2, Al. Headbutt, left hook.
Yes, exactly. A good combination.
Jab him out, 1-2, mate, 1-2 hooking.
They're probably going to tell him again to go twice as well, isn't it?
Yeah, defend it and come back straight away.
Okay, so I'm coming back, am I?
Exactly, you've got to start doing that. Train, set up your attacks, good head movement, breathe and punch. Longer punches, be busier now. Yeah. Come on, let's go. Come on,
This is round number 4, scheduled for 12 to unify 3 of the 4 major heavyweight titles. The other champion, of course, Deontay Wilder, waiting in the wings, and I would say impatiently so, Al Bernstein.
You know, this fight's fascinating because these first 3 rounds, you know, very close rounds. And what kind of start is Joseph Parker off to here? It might be a good start depending on how they're scored.
And that's the thing. They've been competitive. They've been close. But I just think geographically, a good counter jab by Joshua. But it's hard to win rounds on the road on the back foot. It doesn't mean Parker's boxing badly, because he's not at all. It's just, are these judges giving him any credit?
Right.
And Joshua's only been this far 4 times in his career.
It's not so much what Parker's done, it's what he's nullified Joshua from doing. So it's been a little tit for tat in these first few rounds.
You can feel Joshua starting with there's a right, but he's been throwing the left hook with more authority, and I think that punch will get in this round or in the next couple.
Better head movement from Parker as well, though, avoiding the right hand, slipping to the outside.
Joshua also really not getting enough credit here for the subtle thing he's doing here. He's got a good control of range. You know, he's not allowing Parker to be at his range. He's staying just outside of Parker's range, where Parker can only throw that baiting jab. He can't really step in and land a really good jab unless it's a counter jab. where Joshua's giving up his distance himself.
Joshua continues to keep Parker on his back foot, trying to corral him in the corner. Parker using some lateral movement, but finding himself on the ropes. Joshua stabbing him in the jab with the midsection. Double jab by Parker, but unable to negotiate the distance.
And sometimes that jab is just to gain real estate back. Oh, well, that double jab missed, but it forced Joshua to give ground, and so Parker's able to gain the center of the ring again.
Under a minute left in the fourth.
You know, Joseph Parker has had some defensive issues in the past, but tonight he's moving his head pretty well. He's slipping punches well and doing a pretty good job.
This much anticipated showdown between undefeated champions still percolating here in the fourth frame. Coming up on the final 30 seconds of the round.
And now, more to your point, he's not only has he been able to slip a lot of punches, but his jab is preventing Joshua from setting up any sustained offense. So, he's risking less even to be able to have to slip those shots.
And Parker utilizing his speed to get on the inside of Joshua momentarily there.
Yeah, some couple good body shots, those.
Final 10 seconds of the fourth round. Parker, the prohibitive underdog, hanging tough with Anthony Joshua.
When he pulls back with the shines out, everyone step up after him. With the water, please. You've got to give me that double jab, Joe. I'm not just saying it, okay? You've got to give me the double jab. You give him one, and that's why he's trying to counter you with the left hook. Give me a double jab. Okay, the double jab's going to set up everything for us. It's going to set up the right hand of the head.
Well, I talk about the jab in the Parker corner, but Joshua was able to throw jabs with a lot more authority. Now there you see he's trying to land the right hand behind the jab, and we mentioned the good slipping by Parker.
Don't give him no body shot. Sonny, let's get busy now. Stay sharp, stay sharp.
The bell goes. This is round number 5.
In his fight with Hughie Fury, Fury's jab gave Parker a lot of trouble, and that was what Joshua wanted to kind of duplicate in this fight. Has on occasion, but not consistently.
Joshua, one of 7 current champions representing the United Kingdom, as he lands a punch on Parker. Joshua, the 6th heavyweight champion from the United Kingdom.
That was a nice hook, little short hook by Joshua, set up by the fade jab, or even like a half-distance jab, you know? He got Parker to react on that and then turn it into a hook.
And again, Parker lunging in with the double jab, misses with the right as well.
Speaking of the hook, Al, that was a punch you mentioned a couple of rounds ago that Joshua was looking to land.
Yeah, it's probably the power punch that will make the big difference in this fight for him, if there is one.
Parker's compatriot, David Tua, who challenged Lennox Lewis for his heavyweight titles back in 2000, was also known for a ferocious left hook.
He was, and of course Kevin Barry was his trainer, and this is like deja vu for Barry, again challenging a British champion.
And what about that narrow points loss to Ike Abiabuchi, falling for Tua, where they still hold the record for the most combined punches thrown in a heavyweight fight.
Ironic. Oh, look at Parker chasing down. You got to put Joshua out of position. Try to chase him down. And ironically, wasn't that Abiabuchi Nigerian? And Tua was from New Zealand. The same
Tua
combination.
Born in Samoa, though. And of course, there is the connection here for Parker. Yes,
something similar, because Joshua's background is also Nigerian.
You know, Parker was able to go to the body there. He's been trying to do that a little bit. And we'll see if he can continue. Joshua's not thrown much to the body, which is a little bit surprising.
And I got to give Parker some credit here for nullifying a lot of the offense. Joshua's. Nice
good 1-2 that landed for Parker. His best combination of the fight with less than a minute left in the 5th.
And then got out of the way of the counter left hook. They were whizzing by his face right after he landed that 1-2.
Parker showing an improvement in his defense, Al.
Yeah, no question about that. I think that's the headline in this fight right now. When we watch video of him, that was the danger for Joseph Parker. Now, granted, with Anthony Joshua, the one punch can change a fight.
Well, Parker said that he is here for war. He told us that Joshua's going to have to give everything in order to beat him, and Joshua looking to land the Sunday punch on this Saturday night in Cardiff.
But Parker having himself a pretty good round.
Yeah, that's what I said. Best round for Joseph Parker in this fight, for sure, Paulie.
And also maybe a little frustration from Parker, from Joshua. He's starting to load up just a little too much, and that's not the kind of approach you want to take on a slick guy like Parker.
Early in the round, Joshua was able to feint this pulling point and then land that hook. And we're going to see him there. He uses the jab as kind of a rangefinder and then throws in that little left hand. And then Parker with a right hand. It didn't land perfectly, but it was a pretty good punch. And again, he was able to get out of the way of that left hook. If it had landed,
that was a whizzing hook that had some mean intentions on it.
Nice shot. Yeah, but 1, 2 up. We've got a counter with straight shots as well. Okay, deep breath. Come on, let's be busy. Let's keep lunging.
The 6th round underway. Joseph Parker, trained by Kevin Barry in Las Vegas. Barry has been training Parker for the last 5 years. Barry, by the way, collects butterflies, and you know that he wants Parker to be floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee here as he looks to clip Joshua.
He hurt Joshua with that right hand.
I tell you, Joshua keeping his balance.
And Joshua with the counter right, and here we have our first exchange as the referee gets between them.
And that's why you need a physically big referee to break apart heavyweights.
The British Board of Boxing Control does not allow the referees to be mic'd. But he just muted the first real offensive exchange of the fight.
Yeah, that was the strange scenario totally there.
And that was the thing. I mean, it took him like 3 seconds to break that up. A lot of times some more damage can be done.
Right hand by Joshua lands on Parker, who tried to roll with it.
Just like our first fight of March Madness in the heavyweight division. Took a while to percolate for Ortiz and Wilder. This one percolated, now it's percolating.
Parker landed a right hand to the body, left hand upstairs.
And there's a little bit of a bad habit starting to develop for Joshua in this fight. He's going straight back every time Parker puts more than 1 or 2 punches together. And that going straight back, he gets you caught.
Clubbing right hand by Joshua, the counter by Parker. Joshua continues to walk down Parker. Parker on his back foot, but the body language, he appears confident along the ropes, flashes the jab.
The counterpunching of Joseph Parker's been impressive in this round.
Yeah, and that's going to create the doubt in Joshua to just let go of anything he wants to let go of. Counterpunching will make your defense better because the other guy won't throw as confidently.
Parker threw his first punch when he was 4, when his dad, Dempsey, named after, the all-time great Jack Dempsey, held up his hand. Parker started punching at the age of 4, entered his first boxing gym when he was 10, had his first amateur bout at 12. So he has a lot more experience than Anthony Joshua.
Yes.
Both in terms of his amateur background, although Joshua did win the Olympic gold medal. And there, Joshua landed a short right hand upstairs before a little shoe shine action to the body.
Both good exchanges to the body there in that little exchange themselves.
Joshua's having a very hard time getting his offense started. He really is.
I'm telling you, it's that jab of Parker. Yeah. I mean, Joshua has moments. I mean, Parker's not exactly getting any sustained offense off himself, but that jab is really doing a number.
Well, when no less an authority than the Easton assassin Larry Holmes endorses it as the best in boxing, we're starting to maybe see why with 10 seconds left in this round.
I tell you, Parker using his athleticism very, very well.
Early in the round, Joseph Parker was able to make some things happen. They're exchanging on the inside. and Parker would be able to push Joshua back. And this is where they both landed a couple good punches, and the referee gets in and kind of creates a lull in the whole action. And Parker later on in the round, again using that jab and countering well with the right hand underneath to the chest of Joshua. And Joshua, you could see there, just awkward action for him.
Don't get tight, don't get sloppy. Listen, let's just up the gears a little bit, okay? And move the feet to different.
Both guys' defensive positions aren't so bad either, you know, like in those exchanges, Al, you know, both guys are just missing a little bit, and that's due to good balance and good position.
We begin the second half of this 12-round championship unification fight between WBO champion Joseph Parker and WBA and IBF titleist Anthony Joshua. Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood. How do you have it scored at the midway point?
Mo, I have it very close. I have Parker winning the last 2 rounds. For the first 4 rounds, virtually nothing happened, and Joshua did just enough to win most of those rounds. But clearly, the better power punches in rounds 5 and 6 were landed by Parker. So I have this a 1-point fight. I scored the second 10-10. Judges hate doing that. I just felt nobody did anything in that round to deserve a 10-9 round.
Yeah, I don't hate the 10-10 so much, Steve. Why punish one guy just because you can't make up your mind? That's why I look at it too.
Parker first met Joshua at the 2011 World Amateur Championships in Azerbaijan. Parker didn't make it to the final, but Joshua did. AJ suffered his last defeat in the ring at that time. Parker told us that he's going to expose Joshua, the Freudian slip there, Al.
Yeah.
He doesn't move as well as Parker does. And Parker wants to utilize that speed and movement.
And so far in this fight, he has used the movement very effectively.
Body shot. Oh, and there's that patented right uppercut. Close shave on Parker's face. He gave him a knowing smile.
This has been the weirdest refereed fight I've seen in a long time. I mean,
Hey, man, you know, you got to keep that mean streak in there. I thought Parker was kept on punching like he's supposed to on the inside.
The heavyweights, let them fight.
And honestly, if you can't get in the middle, I mean, Joshua has the right to throw the uppercut if you're not getting in the middle and breaking them.
There's no reason for him to be there.
I go back to what I said a couple rounds ago. This is why you need a physically big referee to referee big heavyweights.
And Corderone doesn't have a lot of experience in major fights. Has never officiated a fight of this magnitude. And, of course, Parker has never been in an atmosphere like this. And so far, as he was in our hotel all week, a very calm, cool demeanor. He feels he belongs here, and he wants to prove his critics, his doubters, wrong. He wants to take the 3 championships back to New Zealand and Samoa.
Parker making a real concerted effort to get to the body now.
Yeah, he's working harder on the inside. To be honest, this is a flat performance so far by Anthony Joshua.
And a counter right hand attempt by Parker, and that's what he needs to do to create some doubt in that Joshua jab.
Under 30 seconds left in the 7th. Parker digging away at the body. Joshua looking to bounce up and down again, coming in 12 pounds lighter than the last time he fought here at Principality Stadium last October against their lone common opponent, Carlos Takam, as Joshua sticks the jab.
Now, he tries to land the big uppercut, does Anthony Joshua, as the referee was stepping in.
Good reaction by Parker, man. He put his right forearm underneath his chin.
We'll take another look at it here.
And Al, I think, you know, Parker's doing the right thing. He keeps on punching. Nobody's breaking them up.
Yeah.
And I thought Joshua did the right thing, too. Nobody's breaking them up.
Now, the referee may have felt there was some holding and hitting, but still, it wasn't blatant.
But Parker's punching with both arms.
Yeah.
He's not holding and hitting if he's punching with both arms.
Listen, not close underneath, okay? And when he comes with you, you've got to meet him. One, two, and then counter him.
Meet him with your right hand.
Come on. Listen, 5 rounds now to finish sharp. 5, bang, bang, bang. Come on. Right hand's got to follow.
Round 8 underway here at Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales. Joseph Parker attacking the body from long distance, gets his head popped back with that Joshua jab.
You know, the last 3 fights, he has gone the distance, Joseph Parker. 2 of those majority wins, interestingly. And as you pointed out, they weren't thrilling fights and they weren't brilliant performances by him. But he's comfortable, you know, in this portion of the fight.
Now I'm curious to see if Joshua starts to cut off the ring to the right, he steps over to the right, if he forces Parker to move to his own right, because Parker's been moving comfortably to his own left consistently. So if Joshua were to cut the ring off to the right a little bit and force Parker to move the other way, would there be a concentration lapse or a defensive lapse? How comfortable would Parker be, you know? But Joshua's not making that adjustment thus far.
And Anthony Joshua, let's be honest, he's not being super aggressive. He's not throwing a lot of punches. His offense is muted.
Well, a lot of that is also credited to Parker's jab. But,
agreed.
But you know what it is, Al? Parker's jab is confident because he's able to keep moving to that left and jabbing as he goes along. So step over to the right, see what happens.
Anthony Joshua has only been this far twice in his last 2 outings. A minute and a half now remaining in the 8th.
You see the consistency. Oh, good hook by Parker.
Jab to the body by Joshua. Parker responds with a snapping jab of his own. Double jab. Parker's camp told us that they wanted to utilize the double and even a triple jab to try to befuddle Anthony Joshua.
I'll tell you what, Parker's rhythm is also throwing Joshua off a little bit. He's got this little herky-jerky stuff that he's doing.
Final minute in the 8th.
See, Joshua's trying to creep in. He's got to give us a couple of feints here and there.
Man, referee Quartaroni very much trying to steal the headlines from both Joshua and Parker.
He has slowed the pace of this fight appreciably in his own
there's a left hand that lands for Joshua. Parker leaning in, gets clipped with a right uppercut, and what the hell is the referee doing?
I don't know why he
I thought Parker slipped that uppercut, though. He's got that under control. He puts that right forearm underneath and turns his head. But still, the referee was weird because he tried to put the tape back on the glove of Joshua. Either you're going to have it fixed in the corner or you just leave it alone.
They should stop the action right now and fix it.
When I last looked at the marquee, it did not read Giuseppe Quartaroni. 10 seconds left in the 8th. Joshua with a jab to the midsection. Goes upstairs with another jab, but doesn't follow up with that vaunted right hand, the painful anesthetic.
Focus, you right? Right. Come on, mate. We need to pick the pace up a little bit now, all right? You feel good? Yeah, I feel good. Come on, mate, let's pick it up. Please, give me the fucking double jab.
Joshua looking for a big punch here. That's a nice short left hook by Anthony Joshua. When he's thrown that left hook, it's been effective. And again, Quartaroni getting in there at an awkward time. And we'll see the same sequence again. That short left hook, and that's the punch that he would like to land, Joshua. The reason the referee's stepping in, he's thinking this is holding and hitting, and he's wanting to get in there, but he's getting in too soon.
Inquiring minds want to know, Giuseppe Quartaroni only working his 4th title fight. And here we are in round number 9. Joshua looking to establish the jab, following up with the right hand. Parker avoiding it.
And always avoiding going to his left. And Joshua's not cutting that off. It could change the evolution of the fight if you start cutting the ring off to your own right to Parker's left and forcing him the other way. But we may not see that out.
No.
Double jab by Parker as they clinch.
And Joshua is willing to accept those clinches and look to the referee. That's, I think, someplace where he needs to be more aggressive.
Joshua again just misses with that right uppercut on the inside.
It's almost automatic. Joshua throws the right uppercut, and Parker turns over to his own right and puts his right forearm underneath the chin.
Does it presage what's to come?
He was prepared for that uppercut, I tell you. The Joshua
There was
uppercut.
a memorable uppercut that took place in round 11 of the Klitschko fight, Al.
Yes, and he's looking for that punch now much more.
Well, it comes with its reputation, and I guess Parker prepared for that reputation.
Definitely needs to be an uptick in the offensive output of Anthony Joshua.
But look at the distance they're fighting at. This is high-skill boxing. Look at the distance they're at. They're very close.
Yeah, but you don't want to launch an uppercut from where Anthony Joshua just tried.
No, he's not going to launch it from there. He only launches it on the inside. We'll never see him.
He tried it. A minute 20 left in the ninth. There's a right hand that lands.
That's what he's looking for. But the distance, what I'm trying to say is the distance that they're fighting at, this is a very skilled distance because you're always in range of a punch. Look how calm they are right in front of each other. Look how close they are. And this is a lot of this fight has been fought at this distance.
I think some fans might think Anthony Joshua may be too calm right now. Oh, they're again looking for that right uppercut and then gets clipped with the left and right and then the clash of heads out.
It's the action on the inside has, well, we're going to get a stoppage.
Joshua's going to call his own timeout. Did you see that? The ref's not going to do it.
No.
He just turned around and went back to his corner and said, yo, put the tape on this glove already.
This is one of the most poorly refereed fights I've seen in a long time.
Give my Paisan a hard time out.
I'm sorry.
Unfortunately,
I apologize.
I agree with you.
I wish I could say different.
Less than a minute remaining in the ninth. The crowd here at Principality Stadium in Cardiff trying to exhort Anthony Joshua. Joshua looking to, again, try to stick the jab. Misses with that sweeping last hook. Left hook. But so far, Joshua unable to consistently impose his will and skill against the underdog, but the big-hearted Joseph Parker.
And these are close rounds. You don't know how they're going. It's not as if Parker is landing tons of punches, but they're very close.
And you see the attempt of the counter jab.
And again,
Parker nullifies the follow-through from Joshua.
Oh, lead left hook bounces off Joshua's arm by Parker.
It's going to be a tough fight to judge, guys.
Tonight you can catch a replay of this fight between Anthony Joshua and Joseph Parker at 10:35 p.m. April 7th in the main event. It's a 154-pound unification bout. WBA champion Erislandy Lara taking on IBF titleist Jarrett Hurd, plus the Truax and DeGale rematch, and Julian Williams versus Nathaniel Gallimore. Coming up April 21st, another triple header. In the main event, Adrian Broner versus Jesse Vargas. Undefeated Jamal Charlo takes on Hugo Centeno, plus Gervonta Davis fights Jesus Cuellar in a super featherweight title bout. May 19th, Adonis Stevenson puts his WBC light heavyweight belt and lineal title on the line against former super middleweight and light heavyweight champion Badou Jack. And available now on social media below the belt, a new digital series hosted by former mixed martial artist turned comedian and broadcaster Brendan Shaw. This is round 10, scheduled for 12 in this heavyweight title unification fight. The 11th in heavyweight history, just the second involving undefeated champions as Parker continues to dig away at the body, once again interrupted by the ubiquitous Giuseppe Quartarone.
Parker cut in the left eye.
Parker has been cut before in his career back in 2013 against Afa Tatupu.
And cut could be dangerous because if it gets in his eye, it's blinding you from that side, and the big right hand of Joshua couldn't land.
And that cut back in 2013 was over his left eye. He had to have plastic surgery.
Remember, Joshua has only been to the 11th round. That was against Klitschko. Of course, he won. And Parker, as you pointed out earlier, 4 times has gone the distance of 12 rounds. And his last 3 fights have been 12.
1 minute gone here in the 10th.
One thing Joshua's got to do, Parker bends over to his right, but Joshua steps in too hard and then smothers his own right hand. A lot of times he's got to draw that reaction out of Parker, maybe feinting, maybe throwing a half a jab, get him to bend, and that way he's got enough space to shoot the right hand over him.
Al, we've seen Joshua put together combinations throughout his career. He's known for his combination work, not so much in this fight.
That's a very astute comment, Mauro. And again, the uppercut and attempt by Joshua, that's exactly what Joshua has not done in this fight. And to his detriment.
And Paulie, maybe shed more light. Why do you think Joshua hasn't delivered as many combinations in this fight?
Well, it's been Joshua Parker's defense, Parker's jab. You know, the jab disrupts rhythm and disrupts your combinations, but also his herky-jerky defense. As I was saying before, Joshua a lot of times, good body shots by Parker. A lot of times maybe could draw that reaction where Parker could bend to his right, and instead of stepping in too hard, could leave enough space, but he's stepping in too hard and he smothers himself once Parker bends.
A minute left in the 10th, and Joshua going over the top with a right hand before Quattrone breaks them up again.
And also, I want to disclaimer: this is all easier said than done. You know, these guys.
Yes.
You know, this is. It sounds simple, but it's really not. Again, because look at the distance they're fighting at. Any punch could be dangerous. You have to have high concentration to fight at this distance consistently, and they fought at this distance consistently. So it may look like a boring fight. This is actually a super tactical fight. Boring to some.
Joshua going to the body with the jab, has Parker backed up in the corner, and again just whipping with that right uppercut.
There he tried it on the counter. He's changing up. He usually tries it on the inside. He tried it on the counter there underneath the Parker jab.
Remember, it was a right uppercut that felled Joshua's domestic rival, Dillian White.
Smart there by Parker. He led with the lead right hand. You get Joshua used to that lead jab.
Even Joshua is becoming a little
it's also the tape, though, guys.
upset about that tape.
Quattrone is there, but yeah, the tape, like you said, Mauro, they got to get that straight in the corner.
As we go back, we think it might have been an elbow that caught the nice left hook on the inside. Yeah, there's the elbow that maybe grazed the eye.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's that simple. I've been caught with things like just like that. You know, it's that simple.
This would be a better angle even up for it. There was a nice left hook that landed by Joshua, and then here's where the elbow. Yeah, clearly. Yep. That's great replay by the folks in the truck. And that created it.
What will Quattrone say? Whose cause from?
Parker's trainer, Kevin Barry, also his cut man, addressing that cut over Parker's left eye. The penultimate round, the championship rounds are underway here at Principality Stadium in Cardiff, Wales, between undefeated Anthony Joshua, undefeated Joseph Parker. A combined record of 44-0 with 38 knockouts.
This is a pace that I don't think people thought Joseph Parker could have created this kind of pace in this fight, and this kind of fight over 11 rounds or 10-plus rounds against Joshua, and he has done that. However this ends up going, you have to give him a lot of credit for that.
And Parker with much more experience in the championship rounds.
And again, now got to go back to that jab of Parker. It has allowed the pace to be slowed to where he wanted it. Even under pressure, where Joshua's consistently been the guy coming forward, it's been the Parker jab that has dictated the pace of the fight.
And they said, everybody said going into this fight, both corners, to control the jab was what you needed to do.
And for me, honestly, a lot of the rounds are close. It could be a really close fight. But on the road, it's hard to get a decision on the back foot. And to me, that's not right, because that's just your boxing style a lot of times. And you shouldn't have to take extra risks against Joshua. I would know. but especially with especially with such a bigger puncher, especially with such a bigger puncher like Joshua. But I'm afraid to say, on the road, you know, I just hope we don't get wider scorecards than they should be, even if Joshua does get it.
Joshua does have a contractually mandated rematch clause in his contract. Joseph Parker does not. As we see the scores from our unofficial score, Steve Farhad, a paper-thin fight so far separating these two. Well, actually, referee Giuseppe Quattrone has been the man separating these two. But under a minute left here in round 11. Yet to see any real sense of urgency from either Joshua or Parker. Highly tactical affair between two of the best heavyweights in the world.
You saw what he tried with that uppercut. He was holding his head down with his left hand and tried to keep it there for the right uppercut. It almost worked.
Lennox Lewis, Michael Grant.
Yeah, and Quattrone didn't see it at all because he didn't even warn him.
The right hand of Joshua has really been in mothballs in this fight. The left hook which I put in the keys because I thought it was going to be the major power punch. He's tried, but I think some right hands would help set up that left hook.
A lot of times it's been just a real estate battle. You saw a few seconds ago, a right hand to the body by Parker. Maybe it didn't look like it did damage, but
There's a combination on Joshua.
They both took some shots there.
Clipped. Final seconds of the 11th.
The hook
a little
by Joshua
drama in
was the
this
best
3-minute
one.
stanza.
The touching gloves at the end of the round. Respect that hasn't been shown all fight.
The sequence Paulie referenced where, and we've seen this throughout the fight, where it appears Joshua holding and trying to land the uppercut. That's happened before in this fight.
And you see the forearm again underneath the chin of Parker.
Just missed. This was the portion at the end of the round. That short left hook by Joshua, a little right hand by Parker, the left hook by Joshua, probably the better punch. That was a pretty decent round, I thought, for Anthony Joshua for the most part.
But just be smart with the straights. You can break him up with a jab and right, but you've got to beat him. He's going to come forward. 1-2 jab. Jab, jab, right hand. Move. Defend, counter.
This is last round. So
Yeah, come on,
last round.
let's face it.
Double jab, right to body, left hook. Both there for us.
3 minutes, so let's go.
Don't get
For the first time in 21 professional fights, Anthony Joshua sees round number 12. And the more success that Joshua has achieved, the more Joshua is driven by a fear of failure. AJ acutely aware that just as quick as you rise, just as quick as you could fall. That's why he says he works hard every day. This could be the hardest 3 minutes of his career against Joseph Parker, looking to upset boxing's biggest global star.
And can Parker do something offensively that would make a statement in this round? We don't know how these rounds are going, but clearly in recent rounds, Parker has been more defensive. And, you know, there's some body work. Of the body work that's been done in this fight, Parker has done most of it. Yeah.
And, you know, you'd figure you'd have the advantage being the shorter guy.
Yes, exactly. Even though Joshua is a good body puncher.
No, absolutely not bad at all.
And how will Joshua fare here in this 12th round? It hasn't been fought at a torrid pace, so in theory, and he says, I've always been a 12-round fighter. I know I'm ready to do it. I just haven't had to do it.
Again, the distance they're at. Anybody could land the punch here, but still fought with respect. Good body shot by Joshua, as we were mentioning.
Parker backing up to the ropes. A minute and a half remaining in the fight.
You can make the case that Joshua in these final rounds has been more offensive than Parker.
Parker clinches and then delivers a right hand to the body before they separate. Joshua lands the jab, follows it up with a right hand.
I was going to say, now it's the Joshua with the counter jab. It usually has been Parker.
Joshua has Parker. Oh, a catapult right hand out of the corner by Parker. A minute left in the fight. Joshua has to take advantage of this battle of real estate.
Tell you, Parker does a good job of riding with a lot of the shots too.
Yes, especially with those right hands.
Right, short right uppercut to the body by Parker.
And he's done well with those body shots. It could also be one of the reasons the pace has not been so fast for Joshua.
Always nice to see a heavyweight work the body, and again, right hand to the body by Joseph Parker, the youngest of the current heavyweight champions at 26. Under 20 seconds now left in this title unification fight. Another good jab by Joshua, another jab by AJ, backing Parker to the corner. Right uppercut on the inside again and again. One last time, referee Quarteroni making his presence felt.
Yeah, with like 10 seconds left. It's ridiculous.
Well, New Zealand and Samoa, your boy Joseph Parker is no April Fool. A heroic effort in forcing Anthony Joshua to go the 12-round distance for the first time.
Kevin Barry, you see him there. they feel their man gave a good performance. Whether they feel it was enough to win remains to be seen. And for Anthony Joshua, an uneven effort, though the latter part of that fight, he seemed to do a lot better. Looking at the body language of Anthony Joshua, you feel like he feels like he might have won this fight, but you can't see joy on his face.
And Joshua steamrolled Charles Martin in April of 2016 to become a heavyweight belt holder. He then added the vacant WBA title in the 2017 Fight of the Year as Joshua survived the lone knockdown of his career in the sixth stanza to record that dramatic 11th round TKO triumph over Vladimir Klitschko last April. That was the victory that answered a lot of questions about Joshua's mental fortitude and heart. You wonder what the questions will be coming out of this fight.
Yeah, intriguing. It was you know.
Ladies and gentlemen, and for 12 rounds we go to the scorecards. Stephen Gray and Steve Weisfeld both have it 118 to 110. Ian Scott scores it 119 to 109. All three judges scored for the winner by unanimous decision. The Fighting Pride of the United Kingdom, AJ Anthony Joshua.
What appeared to be a closely contested 12-round fight. Certainly not close on the scorecards here tonight, guys, as Anthony Joshua improves to 21-0 as he goes the distance for the first time in his career. He now has 3 championship belts.
If you gave Joshua most of the close rounds, you might be able to arrive there. I don't know how you would get it that far,
but you'd probably only give Joshua every single close round if you were fighting in the UK, and that's kind of one of the issues opponents have. You got to come here to fight him because he sells so much, and now he's going to have 3 before titles.
It was a workmanlike performance, and for that man, Joseph Parker, he will wonder whether he should have attempted to do more things offensively.
Maybe on the road, you know, he probably could have took some more risks. But if you give Joshua every close round, that means you're looking for a reason to give Joshua rounds, and you shouldn't be looking for a reason to give anybody rounds if you're a judge. You should just be judging the fight.
Anthony Joshua with all of the hardware. 1 title remains, and that's the WBC belt currently around the waist of undefeated knockout artist Deontay Wilder.
There's no question that in the second part of this fight, Anthony Joshua came on and did much better in those rounds and probably won virtually all those rounds.
Let's bring in our unofficial scorer, Steve Farhood. But first, let's take a look at the scores here in Cardiff, Wales. The 3 judges, again, having it via a wide margin in favor of Anthony Joshua. Steve, how did you score it?
Mo, I had it a little bit tighter, although on my card, Joshua took the last 5 rounds, or yes, the last 5 rounds. Clearly, Parker just didn't do enough to impress these judges, and they gave Parker a couple of rounds, and that was it.
All right, let's go now into the ring where Anthony Joshua will be addressing this partisan crowd. We are awaiting Sky's Andy Scott to interview Anthony Joshua as Joshua again improves to 21-0, but his knockout streak ends at 20. The record remains in the guise of Deontay Wilder, 32 consecutive knockouts. And of course, now the question remains, will it be Joshua versus Wilder next to fully unify the heavyweight division?
Anthony, congratulations. You've added the WBO to your IBF and your WBA. Your analysis of your own performance tonight?
I'm not going to make an analysis of my own performance. That's for my coach to do. But my strategy in there was kind of stick behind the jab. It's one of the most important weapons. The old saying is the right hand can take you around the block, but a good jab will take you around the world. And that secured another world championship belt. So I stuck behind the jab and I made sure anything that was coming back, I was switched on, I was focused. And 12 rounds, baby. I thought it was hard, right?
How did you find the 12-round distance?
Light work. It's light. This is boxing. This is what we do. 10 rounds, 2 rounds, 12 rounds. You know, I know sometimes the bookies have it as he might knock him out in 1 round, 2 rounds, 3 rounds, but forget the hype. Joseph Parker is a world champion, so I knew he's going to be determined. So sometimes this does become a boxing match, not a fight. So I made sure, and as I said to you in the previous comments and interviews, this will be about boxing finesse. Joseph Parker stated this will be a war. I stated this will be boxing finesse, and I stuck to my word, and I controlled him behind the jab, the counter punches. And the main thing we cannot forget is I am the unified heavyweight champion of the world.
I was going to come to it later, but it feels like a good time to do it. Do you want to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
100. 100.
You know what that means, though, don't you? That means that you would have to face WBC king Deontay Wilder.
You're asking me, do I want to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world? IBO, WBO, IBF, WBA, 21 professional fights, 6 world championship fights. Does that not show you what route I'm going in? Forget the hype. I'm not into that. Everyone here knows me better than that. I'm not into the hype. I'm about business. So let's get the business done. And now I've got the time. If it takes my trainer, Eddie Hearn, sitting down and discussing plans with Al Heyman, Shirley, and seeing what the future holds, I'm down to ride for whatever, whenever.
So you want that fight with Deontay Wilder. We know that he's watching on our colleagues at Showtime tonight in the United States. So what would your message be to him?
Just like Dylan said, Wilder, let's go, baby! Let's go!
I can see Dylan White is laughing down there for everybody that's wondering.
He knows. On this side of the pond, we're serious. Do you know what I mean? UK, Great Britain boxing is on the map, and we are represented. Not just myself, we've got all the undercard fighters, all the other heavyweight contenders, down to the lower weights. We are all representing. So you know we're dead serious and we're about our business.
If you don't mind, I will come back to you. We just want to get a word with Joseph Parker before he leaves. Joseph, I know you don't want to wait too long.
Oh, yeah.
Just words tonight on your performance and the result.
Today I got beaten by a better champion, bigger man. A lot to work on. You know, it's a good experience being here. Thank you all for the opportunity to find this big stadium. We want to go back, train hard, plan again, and come back stronger.
Any regrets at all?
No regrets. You know, take it on the chin. Better man on the day. So we'll be back again.
If you did have the opportunity again, what do you think that you would do differently?
Work harder, come back stronger, more punches. But I would love to have another go. Just back to the drawing board.
I think there was probably frustrations on both sides with the fact that the referee perhaps didn't let either of you work on the inside. Is that the case at all?
Yeah, no, we could have worked on the inside more, but you know, whatever happened here happened. We can't change it. So we just got to look forward.
You believe you can become world champion again?
Of course. I'm young, fit, strong. I didn't go down. I'm fit to go 12 rounds. And I just want to say thank you to all the New Zealanders and Samoans for being here. Thank you to everyone back home in New Zealand and Samoa. Thank you for the support. We'll be back again stronger.
Well said. A word on Anthony Joshua. How good is he?
He's good. He's a good big man. And like I said, he was beat on the day, but I'll be back.
Thank you, and well said. Let's just get back to Anthony Joshua. Anthony.
You hold them, Rob.
Anthony, back to you.
Oh, slicky.
21 fights. Are you still a work in progress? Does that performance tonight show that there's still more to work on, that you're not the finished article?
Yeah, definitely. We're not satisfied, but one step at a time. But even though I'm not the finished article, we're at the pinnacle of boxing, so it is what it is. I've always jumped in at the deep end, and I'm ready to swim and take these chances. You know the old saying, no risk, no reward. So yeah, we'll see what happens late 2018.
It's amazing here what we're able to put on, but are you interested in trying to conquer America?
No. All these years, the UK fighters had to go to America. Everyone had to spend a heap of money to go to Vegas. We can do it in London, around Wembley, Cardiff. It's local. We're staying right here. We're staying right here. We're staying right here.
Okay, so who do you want next if you had your pick?
Wilder or Fury. Either one.
Let's have a word with your promoter, Eddie Hearn.
But honestly, my little message this evening, aside from boxing, is it's all about unity. Look at all the people in this place from different backgrounds, different places, and we all come together for the love of sport. So make sure that this positive energy don't just leave, don't stay in the arena. Make sure you take it out of the arena, have a good time this evening. Unity, man, there's power in the people. God bless.
Last one on Deontay Wilder. If you did get him here, if you did meet him in a ring, what would you have to do to beat him?
What would I have to do to beat Wilder? Get him in the ring and I'll knock him spark out.
Thank you very much. Promoter Eddie Hearn, how realistic is what Anthony Joshua's just told us there?
It's realistic from our side. He's had 21 fights. He's got 4 belts. Deontay Wilder was supposed to be here tonight, but he pulled out. Last fight, he boxed in front of about 6,000, 7,000. Showed Deontay Wilder what 80,000 sounds like.
Can you sit down and do serious negotiations with him and his team?
Andy, they don't want it. They've never approached us. He's here. He fights all the champions. He wins all the belts. At 22 fights, he has a chance to be the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Don't forget how fast he's moving. Deontay Wilder's people don't contact us. They don't want to know. He talks the talk. He can't walk the walk. And if AJ says if he wants to come here, he'll get knocked spark out.
And you want to do it here?
We'll do it anywhere. But listen, have you seen where he boxes? He boxes in some great venues with no one there. Look at what we're doing over here. Look at what Anthony Joshua is doing. Deontay Wilder will be watching right now, and this is called a show. This is called a crowd. He will not beat AJ and these people.
Thank you.
Well, hopefully both Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder will be able to walk it like they talk it, as again, nearly 80,000 fans here at Principality Stadium saw Anthony Joshua remain perfect, improving to 21-0, but going the 12-round distance for the first time in his, well, still burgeoning career. Now unifying 3 of the 4 titles. The 4th one belongs to the man quickly becoming his arch nemesis, Deontay Wilder. Hey, Al, major key alert, my man.
As we go back and look at what we laid out as the keys to victory, the jab was very, very important. Now, while it took a couple of rounds for him to get it going, we will see how Anthony Joshua was able to use that punch. And his jab much more effective at the end of the day than Parker's. Parker used his jab as a rangefinder, but Joshua's was the one that landed more often and landed with more authority. And really, he won this fight with that and the occasional use of left hooks that also landed.
So all the stars and all the heavyweight titles are closer for the, well, one of the biggest stars in boxing, Anthony Joshua, and you begin to salivate thinking of the prospects of a fully unified heavyweight division. Anthony Joshua versus Deontay Wilder. Let's make it sooner rather than later. Back to you, BC.
Mo, thank you very much. The big question is, will that fight be next? And really, this fight boiled down to Joseph Parker having to take risks. Didn't do it, and he lost his title tonight. And Anthony Joshua, you see him there, now has 3 of the 4 heavyweight title belts. You heard how the judges scored this fight. We asked you who you thought won this fight. Asked you to tweet your results to us at Showtime Boxing. And take a look at this. 78% of you were right along with those judges. You said, indeed, Anthony Joshua won this fight by unanimous decision. Now the unified heavyweight champion of the world. Stay with us. We'll recap the night in just a moment. But first, let's take a look at what is coming up on Showtime.
This reminds me of the night we cracked 10 billion. What a beautiful night.
Fate is dealt our hand. Now we play it.
We need an idea that will shock and awe. Be cold and act. Don't get hung up on emotion.
You had to know a day like this would come.
What has the stronger pull? Fear or money?
You've seen the battles, the mastery, the titles. Now, who will take the glory? When 154-pound champions Erislandy Lara
Lara now on the attack.
and Jarrett Hurd collide in a title unification match.
And Hurd dropped from here before the bell rings.
It's Lara versus Hurd, plus Caleb Truax versus James DeGale in a world title rematch of last year's biggest upset.
Back with the guys who called all the action. So I guess the big question is, you heard what Anthony Joshua says. He says, I want Deontay Wilder. Does he want him next? And will that be the next fight? I remember we had a conversation with Eddie Hearn. He said he wants Anthony Joshua to fight 3 times this year, once in the summer in the States, and by the end of the year, he wants him to fight for the unified or undisputed, he said, heavyweight champion. What do you think? That fight next?
They're both saying the right things, and let's face it, no one wants to see this marinate for as long as Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. The heavyweight division has got a buzz. Let's crown an undisputed champion this year.
What do you think, Al?
Yeah, and we can go back in history and look at Lennox Lewis and Riddick Bowe, a fight that didn't happen. One of the big issues, and it was raised tonight, is the location of this fight. And I understand Anthony Joshua's point about you don't have to conquer America if you've conquered another continent. So we'll see how it goes.
Paulie, what do you think?
I want to see it. I think everybody wants to see it. I think egos have to be put in check and put aside, and people have to kind of meet in the middle. I think Joshua draws more, and Joshua is bringing more of the titles to the table. But and I'm telling you, the competitor that Deontay Wilder is, he heard that post-fight stuff, and he's probably seething right now.
Yes.
He's probably calling everybody. He's probably calling Al Heyman and telling everybody, "Yo, make this fight. Let's make this happen." So I think both guys, the competitors in them, want to fight. Let's hope that the business doesn't get in the way.
Yeah, when you hear Deontay Wilder say, I'm the most dangerous man in the division, and now you hear Anthony Joshua say, I'm going to knock him spark out.
Yeah,
oh, my goodness.
Can I say one more thing? Let's hope Giuseppe Quarterone doesn't get in the way.
yeah, exactly. All right, let's recap our night here at Principality Stadium. It was the Unified Heavyweight Championship of the World on the line. Joseph Parker, the WBO champion. Anthony Joshua, the IBF, the WBA, and really this one was fought somewhat at a distance. The battle of the jabs and the bigger punches you see there, the left hook by Joshua landed by him. And after 12 rounds, Anthony Joshua walks away with 3 of the heavyweight belts. He gets the unanimous decision. Tonight, Showtime Championship Boxing will have several re-airings, including tonight at 10:35 p.m. So in case you missed any part of the action or you want to watch the fight again, you can check out the replay in the coming days. Make sure you join us in 1 week on Showtime Championship Boxing for a triple header. The main event, a 154-pound unification fight. Erislandy Lara takes on Jarrett Hurd. It comes your way Saturday, April 7th. That's going to do it for us tonight here in Cardiff. For Al Bernstein, Mauro Ranallo, Paulie Malignaggi, Steve Farhood, and our entire Showtime Sports crew, I'm Brian Custer. Good night from Cardiff, Wales. We will see you next week in Las Vegas.